Welcome to the Undrafted Armchair Quarterbacks. We're Jim and Joe, lifelong friends, lifelong fans, bringing you fan-driven sports talk the way real fans do. No overpaid experts, no scripted analysis, just honest takes on the games, players, and the big stories shaping sports right now.
We want you to be a part of it too. We love your comments, questions, takes. We'll read them all and bring them into future shows. So hit like, subscribe, and join the conversation every week. Thank you for doing that. And it's free on YouTube, Spotify, and wherever you listen. Good morning, Joseph.
Good morning, Jim. How's it going?
Good, great, grand, wonderful.
Wow. Happy Thursday.
Yeah.
Yes. Thirsty Thursday. How appropriate for a weekend of sports that are coming up, and we've got some really good football to talk about this weekend. Before we get to that, got to mention a couple of things outside of the world of football. We got to talk about something going on in basketball in the NBA. Still early in the season, but wow, Dallas Mavericks. So you trade your franchise Luka away to the LA Lakers because he's old and hobbling, can't get up and down the court, and by the way, kind of looked like he was just constantly in pain while he was putting up 35 a game. But Nico, the GM, trades him, and he goes to LA and just blows it up. And they get Anthony Davis in return, a couple of other pieces. Of course, Davis immediately goes, gets injured. So the trade was really a one-way ticket and a one-way deal. That's not the story. The story is the pressure the fans in Dallas start putting on Nico. They're going to the games. They're starting to chant, basically profanities at the GM. They're wearing shirts with Luka's picture on it at every game. They start up the season, like crap, of course, as everyone predicted. So they start off like 2-8, So the pressure from the fans got so great that literally they had no choice but to fire their GM. And this is one of the few cases where the fans might have had a lot to do with it. So it's kind of a crazy situation. Don't know what's going to happen. Don't know how they can fix this. This trade set them back years. So we'll see what happens. But anyways, poor Luka. He's having to witness all this. By the way, the Los Angeles Lakers played in Dallas, and they had this big, welcome home thing to Luka, packed house, cheering for him and all that. So he's just an innocent bystander, but just a crazy situation.
Fans have the power.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
fans have spoken.
Really, that's the heart of the story is, other than, ownership and all that trying to, wanting to be good. This was like peer pressure from the stands. It was amazing, really, to watch some of these games. So, anyways, bye bye Nico. That was a rough trade, and that's what happens, I guess. Moving on. One more thing before we get into the pigskin. Wow, what is going on with this gambling stuff? We had, this massive, NBA and card game stuff. Well, it's not over. Now it's leaked into baseball. This whole thing going on with this pitch gate. Not sure if everyone's caught up on this, but this is a crazy situation. You've got two Dominican pitchers, Emmanuel Clase and Luis Ortiz. These guys apparently are tipping off what pitches they are going to throw at what time. Like, for example, first pitch in the second inning is going to be blank. I had no idea personally that you could even, micro bet on a pitch by pitch. I'm not surprised. You can pick who's going to win the coin flip in a football game kind of thing. But this was an amazing story.
Is he going to remove his cap? Is that part of a micro bet too? Is he going to reach down and grab the rosin bag behind the mound dust it about 7 times, or is he going
Yeah.
to do it 6 times on his glove and then throw it down, or is he going to place it down? All of those are bets in Vegas, right? I mean,
Yes. Well,
it's crazy.
you might have just invented a couple of new bets, and I'm going to
Allegedly.
run. Yeah, I'm going to run to DraftKings and see these new bets that you just created. You know how many times I pick up the rosin bag. I'm just glad you said rosin. But speaking of bags, well, here's how this whole thing worked in a nutshell. So before the game, the organizer, the gambling organizer. Now, this is all alleged. And it looks like everything was really related to the Dominican. Both pitchers are from the Dominican Republic. It looks like this gambling organizer is in the Dominican. There is U.S. banks and money involved. So, it's like Al Capone. You kill 50 people, but you really go to jail for tax evasion. They can only get you on something that is really provable illegal. And this looks like, one of those money laundering, interstate, transfer of money illegally and, wire transfers and all that. But here's how it happened. Before the game, the gambling organizer calls Ortiz or Clase and says, "Hey, in the third inning, I want you to throw a ball. First pitch, I want you to throw a ball and it needs to be under 92 miles per hour. Okay. Or throw a slider, whatever. Okay. The pitcher agrees. He gets about estimated $5,000 to $7,000 for that pitch, for staging that pitch.
Unbelievable.
$5,000 to $7,000. The organizer deploys the bettors. Dozens to hundreds of micro bets all go out on that pitch. The pitch happens, the bets are cashed immediately, and the flow goes back through all those accounts, and the players get paid in cash or a transfer of money. A few $1,000s for each pitch, estimated that 2, 3, 4 pitches a game. The crazy part to me is these pitchers are basically millionaires. You're a millionaire pitcher, a multimillionaire pitcher, and you're throwing these pitches for $5,000, $6,000. You're risking your career. I don't even know about jail time and, federal indictments and all that, but you're certainly risking a career for, I don't know, 10, 15 grand a game. It's crazy.
And they're probably making $20,000 an appearance just being on the mound pitching.
Oh, easily. Well, if you're Kershaw, you're making literally like $83,000 a pitch. Now, these are not Kershaw's, but you're making good money. Now, argument might be, well, I know, but 15 grand, 2 or 3 times a game looks pretty harmless, hard to catch. And over the course of a season, yeah, that could add up a lot. But I don't know. It's the tip of the iceberg. What I'm kind of fearful of is now you've got baseball involved. What's next? College football, hockey, the NFL. I don't know, because now when you talk about micro bets, it's not like you're having to throw a whole game. It's not like the quarterback, Carson Beck throws 4 picks against Louisville. That looks suspicious,
Mm-hmm.
just throwing that out there. But now you could throw, hey, my first pass when we get the ball in the second half is going to be, an overthrow out of bounds. You can bet on that. Wow. I don't know where it starts or stops, but we'll keep an eye on it. To be continued, and we'll see what happens. But hey, interesting stuff going on outside of the world of football.
And I just wanted to add, they're interesting is beyond it's beyond interesting. It's
Yeah.
scary. It's everything. And
Yeah.
if the allegations are true, I'm sorry, but I just want to say this. There has to be an example that's really going to put a scare in the players to stop doing this, to stop listening
Yeah.
to the crooks. If the
Yeah.
allegations are true, as we mentioned when we spoke before the show in the green room, no pun intended. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
ridiculous. It's bad.
Yeah. I agree. It's really bad too, because one of the reasons we love sports is anything can happen. We don't know the outcome of a lot of games, blah, blah, blah. Betting has brought in a whole new genre, in my opinion, of young people. My son, who's 21, he's really into it. Uh, fantasy football and all that. It's going to be a shame if you start losing confidence that, the games are on the up and up and, nothing's being fixed. If you lose confidence in that, it changes the whole. Now it becomes, like a written movie. Now you're going to see a movie because it had a script. You may not know who's going to die in the movie, but you know that, it was all predetermined. That would be horrible if that seeps into the world of sports.
That's for sure. But now we move on so we can help our viewers and listeners to make your picks and your bets for this weekend's college football games.
Wow. And finally, I mean, no offense to any fans out there who've been playing over the last couple of weekends, but we finally looks like we have some really, really good matchups.
Hallelujah.
Yes.
Want me to start?
Always.
The Fighting Irish, ranked 9th at Pitt.
Phew.
That's the noon game on Saturday.
Love it.
Do you think that Marcus Freeman will be able to go on the road and beat Narduzzi and his Panthers?
Well, according to Narduzzi, quote, even if we lose this game by 100 points, this is a paraphrase quote, we can lose this game by 100 points, it doesn't matter because it's a non-conference game. We're only interested in the next couple of games, in the ACC. So, wow, I hope that doesn't translate to his players' play on the field, but I don't know. Sure he can. Of course he can go in there and win. They'll be favored, I'm sure. So, Pitt's gone 11 straight quarters without a rushing TD versus ranked opponents. Notre Dame allows a completion every 11 dropbacks. Wow. I mean, can Pitt score? I guess would be the first question.
On the road and Pitt score, history says Pat Narduzzi is 9-22 since he's been at Pitt versus top 25 teams.
Wow.
I don't think it's going to happen, and I'm going to go ahead and step in and make my pick. I am going to say that Notre Dame will win on the road, and that's my pick.
That's a good pick. Pitt's, I think, 117th in sacks allowed. They haven't had a rushing touchdown in a while. I mean, they're 23rd, they're ranked 23. The coach's comment scares me because, I mean, like, what does that even mean? I'm not sure. Is that like reverse psychology?
Yes.
My head says Notre Dame, of course, but I'm going to go with my heart, and I'm going to go with Pitt.
Okay.
I think Pitt pulls a close upset, something like, 20, 24, 27, 24, something like that.
I like that pick because I was going to mention before that, Narduzzi's 9-22 against the top 25. Marcus Freeman is 14-6 with Notre Dame against the top 25.
Yeah.
Flip a quarter and just pick Pitt. Matt Henschel, the freshman quarterback for Pitt, he could come out and be great again. The kid's he's got the it factor. I like that quarterback. That's a good pick. Excuse me. Yeah.
Yeah. No, if he plays well, then and he can get protected and get time, then he's capable. So we'll see. I'm looking forward to that game.
Me too. We've got number 11, Oklahoma, Boomer Sooners, going in to take on the Crimson Tide of Alabama.
Whoa.
Ranked
okay.
number 4. There they are, right up at the top again, where a lot of people want them, but they have been playing some good football. I did another little coaches thing here. Kalen DeBoer's got a great overall record versus top 25. I read one site that said 15-3, another one that said 18-3. So, place your bet. DeBoer at Bama is 2-1 against top 25.
Yeah.
Oh, the Alabama Crimson Tide will be at home. Homa Venables doesn't have a very good record overall against top 25 overall with Oklahoma. He is 4-7. So again, do we do a pick where we go, oh, okay, let me pick the underdog?
Well,
Your turn.
if you want Oklahoma to win, then for whatever reason, then you would be picking the underdog. I think they've been exposed. And if this was at Oklahoma, I would say Oklahoma only loses by, 8. But at Alabama, I don't even see how Oklahoma is going to stay close by the time you get to the fourth quarter. Alabama hasn't allowed a rushing TD from outside of the 5-yard line in its last 14 home games.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't let you get into the end zone, at least on the ground. And Oklahoma's offense, it's in the mid 60s, I think, nationally. I just don't think Oklahoma has the firepower. And so I'm going to go with, this isn't easy, but I'm going to go with Alabama in an easy win.
Yep. And I'm going to have to agree with you on that one, Joe. I think they have the nation's longest home winning streak right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's nothing like 58 straight, like a certain team that played in that bowl
Thank
right
you.
up above your head,
Well,
known as the Orange Bowl,
yes,
baby.
yes. That was
Yeah. Yeah.
quite the run.
Yeah.
Yeah, and by the way, I am biased on these games. I have no love for Alabama as a fan or anything like that, but Miami moved up to 15 in the CFP playoff, world, and we need teams in front of us to lose. Oklahoma at number 11, it wouldn't hurt my feelings. But
No,
yeah, but without even that, Alabama wins this game. Alabama's I don't know what happened in the first game of the year, but that's not the same Alabama team. So
I sure enjoyed it.
I know. Well, me too. All right, Texas, Georgia.
Number 10, Texas at number 5, Georgia. Steve Sarkisian is 6-9 versus top 25. Kirby Smart is 38-17 versus top 25.
Mm,
Now, Billy Napier was seen at Georgia's practice.
really? What does that mean?
Do you think that he was trying to see if he could latch on to a position with Georgia here in the future? Or was he telling Kirby how he helped coach the Gators to beat Texas in the swamp earlier this year?
Mhm. Or, well, did Kirby reach out to Billy and say, "Hey, come have lunch with me and talk about a coordinator job?" Wink, wink. And while you're here, hey, it's on film, so you can watch it. You know, I don't know. It's kind of the same situation. Texas just are they capable? Sure, but I just don't see them. You know, Georgia's Georgia's defense, by the way, is not the old Georgia's defense we're used to. They're giving up, over 100 yards rushing a game, barely, but still. But Georgia's hey, Gunnar Stockton. I thought he was a great athlete that was trying to play quarterback, but maybe I'm having to swallow a little bit of that crow because he's proving to be a good quarterback for Georgia. They're averaging over 430 yards of offense a game. I don't think Texas has enough firepower to beat Georgia, and I think Georgia has enough firepower to beat Texas. It comes down to that.
I'll agree with you on that one. It looks like both of us are going to go with between the hedges.
Yeah.
Bark, 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 boy.
Yeah. And I don't love that too. I'm an hour away from Athens, as you probably don't know. And go dogs and barking all day long every Saturday. It wouldn't hurt my feelings, but I need Texas to lose as well. So, there's my orange and green opinion as well. So,
And I'd
all
like
right.
to say, I hope Texas wins. I've got 2 nephews that graduated from UT. So,
Yep. Yep.
but
Well,
I'm going to say between the hedges,
well,
Georgia.
yeah. Well, I think the home cooking is also, going to help. It's a tough place to play, and so I think Georgia's the logical pick. So we'll see. Um, honorable mention games. There's some there for a change. Now, I'm not saying there's never been a great game on Friday night.
Hmm.
Miami played on Friday night. That's how we lost. I think to Louisville Friday night. But give us. There's a couple good ones on. What's going
Yeah.
on?
To get everybody primed, all you college football fanatics,
Primed.
Clemson coming off a nice victory over my Seminoles at Louisville. Louisville's ranked 19th, but this has a lot of implications with the ACC standings,
It
and
does.
that's a 7:30 kickoff.
Love it.
And Jeff Brom is coming off getting beat by Cal in overtime.
Ooh, yeah, that one hurt. That one
Yep.
stung.
So
Wow.
that'll be a very interesting game to watch and to see what the aftermath, if Louisville gets upset again, then that's going to be good for Miami's chances to get back into the ACC championship.
Good.
Yep.
And yeah, right. There's a bunch of one-loss ACC teams above Miami. I mean, obviously, head-to-head, Louisville has. Hey, listen, then yeah, I don't know. They're playing. They're capable of beating Louisville. I don't know. Is that game at Clemson?
The game is actually at Louisville.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see.
Yep.
Bounce back game. That's it does have implications for Louisville, especially, and they're ranked like 16 or 17 right. They're one place behind Miami, which, Notre Dame is screaming, see, head to head doesn't matter after all. Yeah, I get it.
tell
Thank you,
us
CF. Yeah, thank you, CFP committee, for that one.
tell us how
Uh,
you and a lot of people feel.
Well, before that, I felt like, that's a bunch of BS. Eight spots ahead when we beat them head to head and have the same record, but now they put us one spot ahead of Louisville. You know why the CFP did that? Just so Miami loses that argument, even though it's only one spot. Whatever. I digress. Um, I actually like the Oregon game after that. What is it? Minnesota and Oregon.
The Golden Gophers against the Ducks.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
I
we'll see.
know. I know.
I
But that
mean,
one's on a little bit later at 9 p.m. So if the
yeah.
Clemson Louisville game gets going really, really good and you watch most of that, you've got another game to flip to Friday night to get primed for the weekend.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, we'll see what happens. I'll be keeping a Pirates eye on, the Gators and Ole Miss, and there's a couple other games. Miami plays NC State. Miami, hey, the CFP projected brackets show Miami with an 11 seed, making the playoffs if they win out, which, NC State at home, then at VT, and then at Pitt to close it out. Another reason I think if Pitt can beat Notre Dame, that really sets Miami up really well if they win all three. November is horrible for Miami historically. We keep proving it every year that we stink in November. Um,
Mm.
we have destiny in our own hands to have a good shot at making a playoff based on the CFP projection. So, we'll have to stop NC State first. First things first. So,
Yeah. Got to beat NC State. 3:30 for that kickoff at Hard Rock Stadium. Yep.
yeah, and one tidbit on that: CJ Bailey, the quarterback for NC State, is from South Florida, so he'll probably have a lot that he wants to prove. So we'll see how it goes.
Yep. Watch out for the Wolfpack. Don't
Yes,
overlook them.
yes, we're 2 touchdown favorites, so that's probably the kiss of death, but whatever.
Now on to a really good NFL football weekend.
Yeah, love it.
Really good. And we're at the halfway point now, pretty
Yeah,
much. Some teams have had bye weeks, but we're halfway through. We're halfway
yeah,
there, folks.
yeah, we are.
6-3 Tampa Bay at 6-3 Buffalo. 1 o'clock Sunday ball game up in Orchard Park, where the weather I just heard this morning is supposed to be brutal. High winds,
Wow,
cold. Yeah.
really?
Does it matter to Baker?
It does in the first half. Tampa Bay is one of the worst teams in NFL in first half points, and they cannot get off to that kind of a start. in this game.
Egbuka played at Ohio State. He's played in this weather.
Yeah, a lot of NFL players have. I mean, the weather in the NFL, it's not like college where you see, Miami huddled around heaters because it's, 48 degrees. The NFL, they're professionals. They don't care. It's fun for the fans to watch games in those conditions. Just the
Yes.
freezing, all the offensive linemen in short sleeves. I've been out in the cold before, like, 30, 40 degrees cold. And I mean, within like 1 minute, I can't feel like my fingers, like literally. I mean, I can't feel them. Like if I had to, you know, do something mechanical or that was hard on my hands, they'd be like burning and killing me. I I don't know how these players do it. I know they're running around and their heart beats up and their blood's pumping, but I've done a lot of things in the cold, and I mean, I don't know how they do it, quite frankly. How does a quarterback throw the ball? I know they've got the little, you know, Eskimo puffy things on their waist they can put their hands in with hand warmers and all that, but, still, whew, brutal.
And I can't make a pick on my phone, you know? My hands get
What?
frozen.
Oh,
Hate it.
take a picture?
Make a pick on my phone for my fantasy league. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, you're right, I know. Yeah, I mean, you gotta blow on your f y nothing works. I don't know how they do it, man. I mean, like a tight end, cutting across the middle, and the quarterback whips the ball at him, which is probably the similar of throwing like a brick of ice, and they just reach up and grab it. Listen, it's very impressive to watch people play like in those kind of conditions.
Yeah.
Hey, obviously Buffalo's used to it and all that. Who do you
Yeah.
got?
I got to go with Buffalo. I just, in that environment at home, coming off getting blown out by
Yeah.
the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah, by the way, I was going to mention that really. How motivated is Buffalo to, prove that that was an outlier? Buffalo's defense, they turn the ball over a lot, especially in the red zone. I just don't know. Tampa just gets off to such slow starts, and then Mayfield has to like be hero ball in the second half. That strategy is not going to work. All right,
We
who's next?
we've got, I think this should be called the awesome defense game. 7-2 Seattle Seahawks at the 7-2 LA Rams.
Wow.
So we got the Bills Bucs at 1, the LA Seahawks Rams is at 4:05. So get the full enjoyment of these ones, folks, because this is going to be a smash mouth football game.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll make the pick right away. I'm going to take Stafford right now. I just think the Rams are going to find a way to win because is Seattle going to just finally slow down just a little bit? If it's against any team, I think it's against the Rams, not just because of Stafford and the offense, but the Rams also have a top 5, they average top 5 defense. They're good
Yeah.
all around.
Yeah.
You may disagree with me on this one, but I'll take Rams at home.
Uh, can't really disagree
Yeah.
because you know they the Rams are playing the Rams are playing great.
Mhm.
The Rams are, I think, sixth in the league in turnover differential, so their defense, can take the ball away. Seattle,
Yeah, they look
they
good.
just keep looking good. So this should be a really, really fun game to watch. I can't wait to watch it. I'm gonna pick Seattle to
Ooh,
beat the Rams on the road. And
okay.
the reason why is because you picked the Rams and I need to catch up.
Okay. You got to cut the mustard. Yeah. Oh,
Yes.
there's one more thing I got to add. The game with the Rams and the 49ers last week. Can we please ask the camera guy when he saw Devontae Adams stretch out and catch that touchdown pass from Stafford? I don't know if you saw it, but he was going out of bounds. The camera guy goes, "Oh, bleep." He takes off running, but he leaves his camera, 2 feet on the sideline boundary of the end zone. And he takes off running like, ah. And Davante Adams goes face first into the camera. Can we just see if that one guy can just move back, or can we see if we can train him to throw himself in front of Davante Adams to help him avoid going face first into his sideline camera? That's all I'm asking. I mean, he went face plant right into the camera.
It was a great it was a great angle to see. I think it was really difficult for Devontae to focus at that point.
Oh,
But
they need to
yes,
move those guys farther away.
yeah, I know you got lenses like like this on the end
Mhm.
of your like you could be in the upper deck and see a nose hair on a player, but you
Ooh,
got to be sitting 2 feet from the sideline. I don't get it.
appreciate the visual.
Yeah, really. Hold on a second. There you go.
Picking our winners here.
Oh, what
Oh,
pick do you have?
man. Ah.
Yeah.
All right. On to Sunday night. Sunday's going to be a great day. Saturday, too.
I agree.
Oh, man. 6-3. Detroit Lions with Motor City Madman Dan Campbell calling the plays. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
At the reigning Super Bowl champion 7-2 Philadelphia Tush Push Eagles.
Yeah. It's a great game. It's a great game on paper.
Sunday night.
Yeah.
Speaking of the Tush Push, are you
Yeah.
tired of it?
I'm tired of the false starts.
Right.
I'm tired of the two guards, and one tackle on each side starting, 5 seconds before the ball snapped. Yeah, I'm tired of that.
I'm so glad you just brought that up too, because Philadelphia, if you watch their offensive linemen, and a lot of offensive linemen in the NFL now, you'll notice the right guard most of the time. Sometimes it's the left guard or tackle. They will actually do hand movements like they're pointing towards the defense, or they'll look up and they'll turn back towards the quarterback. You noticing
Yep.
that? There's a
Yep.
lot of movement. Back in the 70s, if an offensive lineman had an elbow twitch, he got hit in the helmet by a flag from the referee. There's way too much movement, and Philadelphia is most guilty of it. Watch the game with how they make so many motions before the snap and I'm not just talking about on the tush push. I'm talking about all the time.
Yeah.
And a lot of teams are doing it now, and I think it's wrong.
Well, it is wrong technically. And until somebody, starts, next year that'll be one of their, what do they call that? The points of focus or whatever by the referees. But
Yeah.
um, you know what? The Eagles have had a lot of one-score games this year. By the way, Dan Campbell, coach of the Lions, he was asked about a tush push, and he said, he thinks it's great. Hey, um, you know, don't hate the players, hate the game, right? I mean, figure out how to stop it or figure out how to do it yourself. But
Right.
probably reverse psychology. Probably can't stand it behind closed doors. But
Yeah.
I
I
think the
love your
Eagles,
point.
that game against Green Bay was ugly.
Mm-hmm.
And Green Bay's defense not taking anything away from them, but the Eagles' offense doesn't look as Brown is all. He's on social media saying, if I'm on your fantasy team, take me off. I mean, that's not a great thing to have in your clubhouse. I don't know. We'll see. But I think Detroit can go in there and win this game. Detroit does. I think they're one of the top teams in the NFL in like long drives. I think they lead the NFL in drives of 9+ plays or something like that. So I think they can actually, control how many times the Eagles get the ball, and the Eagles offense doesn't look like it really is as potent as it used to be. So I'm going with Detroit.
Okay. I'm going to take Detroit also. A roadie, but Detroit, people don't talk so much about their defense, but they average in the top 5 to 10 teams every week in best defensive performance, the
Yeah,
Lions.
that's
So
nice.
I like Dan Campbell. He's calling the plays.
Love them. Yep,
I just wish the Dolphins had never let him go when he was the interim coach with the Dolphins.
I know. Yep. It does hurt. Hey, if Gibbs has half the game he had last game, they'll be fine. I mean, I like Detroit. Have no affiliation with them other than just they sucked for so long,
Yeah.
and after trading their quarterback away and all that, and getting Goff, Goff's done nothing but excel.
Right.
So, anyways, I'm a Detroit fan, like everything about the coach and all that. Last game, Kansas City at Denver.
Kansas City at Denver. 5-4 Kansas City. Can you imagine if the 8-2 Broncos go to 9-2 and Kansas City goes to 5-5? Your heart can imagine it,
Yes.
but does your wallet imagine that?
This is a tough one for me as a Raiders fan. It's hard to root for either one. I hate that Denver might be 9-2, but man, you know, you just see the changing of the guard happening before your eyes. Unfortunately, Denver, they, I think they give up like one of the best passer ratings, worse for Denver. When the quarterback has a little time to throw, Mahomes
Mhm.
extends plays. So, can this is a toss up for me. It really is. The experience of Kansas City and the Knicks and all that on Denver. I'm going to say Kansas City wins this game.
I wanted to go with Kansas City too, but I'm going to hold off on that. I just changed my mind simply because after watching this Denver team, this defense gets so much pressure on the opposing quarterbacks that quarterbacks cannot function, cannot get anything done. I'm taking the Broncos at home.
All
Sean
right.
Payton, and when you said it, well, you just said it there's a change of the guard before our eyes.
Yeah.
Sean Payton has it going on there. So I got Denver.
Yeah. Well, Denver blitzes on 20% of their snaps. So we'll see if they can get to Mahomes. Problem solved. If they don't, watch out. So it'll come down to that, in my opinion. So, all right.
Just
Well,
just before we wrap up, I've got one more thing, and it's
oh, please.
well, I've never been to Spain.
Oh, I forgot. Why are
Dun,
you singing
dun,
that song?
dun. But I
Wait,
kind
Kay?
of like the music.
Hmm.
Dun, dun, dun. Say the
What?
ladies are insane there.
And they sure know how to use it.
Dun, dun,
What
dun.
is that song coming from? What is that?
The
What does that have to do with football?
Dolphins are playing the Commanders in Spain, and they've never been to Spain
Whoa, the NFL's never been to Spain. Have they?
ever.
Unbelievable.
But they have been to England.
Yes.
So
Yes.
anyway, we're not doing a pick, but that would be fun to watch Sunday
Well,
morning, 9:30.
why didn't they pick New Orleans? Because they could have said Nola going to Ola, but no. Yeah. Probably not. All right.
Anyway,
Well, that was a good projections. I got them all written down in ink, so we will see what happens. And that's it for this episode of the Undrafted Armchair Quarterbacks with Jim and Joe. Thanks for checking us out and hanging with us for some real fan-driven sports talk.
and please remember your comments are very welcome. We want you to be a part of the show. Drop them below. We'll read them and feature them in future episodes. Be sure to like, if you like, subscribe, and catch us every week for free right here on YouTube, Spotify, and wherever you listen. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Joe.
See you guys. Thank you, Jim. Take care, buddy. Talk to you soon.
Yes, sir.